Now she messages me always behind her husband saying that she's in a physically and mentally abusive marriage, wishing she married me. Is that friendship worth more than the safety of another person? Wow, that went deep.
Go look at yourself in the mirror and spit at yourself for how you've been behaving all these days. I was added to several caste-based WhatsApp groups. There's caste-based WhatsApp groups. That is mad.
Thanks to social media and because individuals making points about it, I'm now able to see the other side, the other side suffering. This is another relationship one.
Yep.
Well, your one wasn't really a relationship. It was going to be a relationship.
Okay, go on.
So, this is from, I'm checking. Was in a relationship with someone for 3 years. Thought it was real. As soon as her parents found out I was of lower caste, they were against it and she just broke it off for like the 3 years meant nothing. Most painful and worst thing for someone to go through.
Shit. I've got very similar stories, so I'm not gonna read those ones.
Yeah.
But I had 2-3 very similar to that.
You know,
and
most of them are, this is gonna be the last one I'm doing as well, by the way, because there's a lot of these
relationship ones. So as an overall thing, what would you say about that?
I mean, my first relationship was, again,
similar story.
Yeah. It was a whole caste thing and whatnot. Not necessarily because it's high or low, just because it's different.
Okay.
And this person would say that, or because her parents would be okay with it.
Yeah.
Because this person's dad is actually known for being a patriot, right? And you know him as well. And the mom was more happy with the kid, with her daughter's decision. But the people like her relatives, her brother-in-laws, like they wouldn't agree. So that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. That was many years ago.
Yeah.
But it's similar. But back then, I didn't think of it as a huge thing. But now when you think about it now, you're like, it's caste, fucked
it's
up.
Like you're mad for even doing that.
But then there's loads of stories like that. Everyone's got stories like that, man. And even if something does break off, you might not even know what the reason is. Could be because of that.
Yeah.
Because people tend to, what do you call it? As a parent, you would think that your child would be safer. So from a parent's point of view, they think your child is a lot safer in the hands of your own people, own community, own relationship, which is it's a completely normal parental thing to have, right? But do you know how many fucked up people there are in your own family, in your own community and stuff? It's fucked up. I think initially it starts off with the whole safety aspect for their kids. Are they going to live a peaceful life? Are they going to be happy? Are they going to be respected in the community? All those things, obviously. And then it slowly develops into the fact that, but why would she give up this high status profile that she is right now to go down there and stuff? So it always ends up being cast anyways.
Fucked, bro. But I think this story and the very similar stories, we both received quite a few of them. I think it's the perfect example that caste still does exist in European countries, in Canada, and in Ulam here and wherever, because the people saying, why are you talking about caste? It doesn't exist here. When it comes to marriage, you're all going to ask what the other person's caste is.
This is just 5 stories of 100 that we got.
So I'm still looking for a Tamil person who's going to get married and who doesn't ask the other family, what caste are you? That will never happen. The first question everyone asks is, what caste are they?
Even if they don't ask you directly, they will have a discussion amongst their family and they will figure it out somehow.
So I got another story. It's a bit of a different one. One day I was at a friend's house and we're from the same village in Jaffna. But depending on the street you live on, you can tell who's who. What is it?
That's fucked already. Depending on what street.
But depending on the street you live on, you can tell who's who and which caste they belong to. I already knew they were Vellaler, but they didn't know my caste. Anyway,
Vellaler is a caste, by the way, guys.
Is a privileged caste, nah?
Just a privileged caste. What they like to think they are.
They like to think that. Anyway.
I'm gonna offend a lot of people saying that. But fuck that. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, why are you offended? If you still believe in caste, then you get offended. Of course. If you got offended by what he just said, that means.
Hey, you said it as well.
What? No, because you said, they think, didn't I? Oh shit, it's a natural thing.
Why trying to throw me on the bus?
If you got offended by what we just said, that means you still love your caste and you take so much pride in being this stupid thing that don't exist. Shut the fuck up with your stupid ass caste. But anyway, I already knew which.
Careful, Jan, again. It's gonna vex.
Alright, anyway, I already knew they were Valalar, but they didn't know my caste. Anyway, that day, they asked me which street I lived on. I told them my street because I honestly couldn't care less about casteism. As soon as I said it,
they live here, but they
went back home for holiday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And as soon as I said it, I saw their faces. They understood. It was so awkward for me because I thought, what kind of people are they? Their reaction was almost one of disgust, yeah? And then I replied saying, was this recently? Because people say that caste issues doesn't exist back home. And I'm genuinely asking this because I've had several people saying, oh no, caste doesn't exist in Ulam and stuff, yeah? And then the reply I got was, no, it was about 10 years ago, but I've never forgotten their faces. I went there recently and it absolutely still exists. Just like in the movies, the people who came to do the work at the house weren't allowed to drink from the household dishes, household cups and stuff. Like in Tamil movies, even the lowest caste people, look down on other caste because for them, there's always someone beneath them. So that's another thing.
So what is the lowest then?
I don't know what the lowest is, but I think that people always feel like there's someone lower than you. You never feel like there's always someone looking down on someone. It's not just like the highest privileged one looking down on the next one. This
is the thing with Tamil people, They always want to be better than someone.
There's got to be someone I'm better than.
I might be a really fucked up person, but at least I'm a little bit better than this person.
Yeah, like that.
This is why we don't have a country to ourselves, by the way.
They shit, bro.
Veerathilayum Tamilandan, Drogathilayum Tamilandan.
That's a sick part for the teaser. But anyways, yeah, all right, cool. So let's not get sidetracked. Yeah, that story, just like the previous story, we said that it's an example that caste exists when it comes to weddings and marriages. This is a clear enough example that caste still exists back in Ulam, and yes, like it is happening around there. Like
a lot of these stories don't come up to the what do you call it? But it doesn't get shined on it. Unless someone talks about it. Okay, so another one, guys, from Montreal, Canada. I'm going next month, by the way. You know. Dated a girl whose parents were into caste. I was lower, so she left me. Ended up marrying a guy of the same caste. Now she messages me always behind her husband saying that she's in a physically and mentally abusive marriage, wishing she married me.
You know how fucked that is?
I mean, the fact that she's talking behind her husband's back.
First of all, she's talking behind her husband's back.
I mean, as she should, because, abusing.
And two, she's getting physically and mentally abused by someone. I think this is a very interesting one we've got here. Previously we had stories about relationships not working out because of caste-based issues. Yeah. This one is that next step where it didn't work out. Then the girl got married to someone the parents told them to get married to.
Yeah.
However, that guy ended up being an abusive husband.
You can say abusive prick because that's
abusive
what he came
dickhead, yeah.
Yeah.
So my thing is, some people love their caste so much that they would rather have their children marry an abusive person than someone who's actually really nice but just of a different caste. You know how fucked up you have to be.
No, like any sign indication.
You can't have signs, brother, about abusive people.
No.
You can never have signs, bro. The abusive people could be around us. It's like the whole concept of like a lot of the reason I'm looking that way is because we're talking to the Proddy Y behind the camera. If you're wondering why I'm looking behind, but what I was saying is, it's like, for example, you know the. What I was saying is, let me talk, bro. This is meant to be a serious fucking podcast.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Stop swearing, then.
What I was saying is, allow it.
Something's funny.
Allow
I don't know why.
Allow it.
Oh fuck! Complete.
Turn around. Face that way. I didn't say go to the corner. I just said turn the chair. The fuck.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know why that made me laugh. Fucking trigger warning, bitch.
What was he saying? What was your question? Now, how would you know he's in there signs and stuff? Yeah. There's never signs, bruv. Let's be honest. There's never signs with abusive people in it.
No, you won't be able to tell unless you fucking live the life.
What is?
Like that you won't have.
You won't know it. That's the thing.
This is why
I
you
even
should get to know the person.
That's why I even told you when I advised you, because obviously, like we told you guys, probably was trying to get married, so let him know.
Stop saying he's trying to get married. He's just trying to find his.
He's trying to find his
other half,
his gal to get married to.
Yeah.
But that's what the one thing I always advise.
Oh man, we don't know.
Anyone, yeah. Don't settle for the first person you find. Always give some time. Always. Another thing.
He's saying be a fuckboy.
I know this isn't a relationship based podcast, but I just want to give a quick advice for people. Yeah, a little tip. Yeah.
Just put the tip in.
No, not
In
that
different
tip.
people.
Nah, listen.
Oh.
My thing is, just because you're getting older, don't feel the pressure and settle for the first person you find because you're getting old or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that, because that's when things like that happen. Like we're saying, Yanagan, where
You end up with someone.
people are like, you don't get to know them enough to see their negative traits and abusive
you don't get to
traits
see
and
any
shit.
of the red flags
Any of
at
that,
all, yeah.
because you haven't given it time. For you just saw that they're attractive, they might be financially secure, and they might be funny or something, and that's it. Boom.
There's little things you'll find out. Because for example, I'll be plain and honest here. With me and my missus, we've been going out for at least 5 years before we got married and now have a baby. And those 5 years, she's realized that I'm a messy person. Not messy like dirty as in like, but if I take an item, I don't put it back where it's supposed to be.
That.
If I open the kitchen cupboard, sometimes I forget to close it. Little things like that. You need to get to know a person fully before you can commit into a relationship.
Yeah.
And if you just marrying them based on the fact that your parents said yes to them, right?
Yeah.
Then you're going into a pit full of fucking crocodiles.
Exactly.
With blindfolded, basically, because you're not knowing what you're going into.
That's why sometimes I don't understand the concept. Like, I understand arranged marriage sometimes is literally just like blind dating, which is okay. Like, it's like finding someone for an app.
It is.
Because these days you do get to know them for a while. But sometimes some people, they do the whole arranged marriage thing very quick, like 3 months of knowing them, they get married. And you know how easy it is to act like a good person for 3 months.
Of course.
Do you get it? And
That's literally all guys in the honeymoon phase. I was buying my missus flowers and chocolates when we first started dating for a year, and after I don't do any of that shit. Sorry, I love you, but I don't do anymore.
But what I'm saying is, most people are not 100% themselves in the first few months, and that's normal because you're trying to impress that person. You're trying to get validation, make that person fall for you and shit, and vice versa. They're both doing it, so they're not 100% themselves. So I think it takes years to fully get to know someone, like 2-3 years, sometimes a year or some shit. But the whole concept is, the reason we're talking about this is the fact that some parents are okay to let their daughter or son marry someone so quick just because they're the same caste. And then even if that daughter goes back to the parents and say, I'm getting abused, a parent who's willing to get them married to the same caste is probably someone who's also willing to say something like, just deal with it. Like, husband, you know, back in the yeah.
No, but going back to that point, so you were saying like this arranged marriage sort of thing within the same caste. It's sort of like a blind dating sort of thing,
Yeah.
So even if because right now nothing is final, So you have these pretend parents, நீங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் சும்மா கதைச்சு பாருங்க. உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்தா செய்யுங்க. Just to ease them into it, You start talking for 3 months, the girl or the guy realizes the other half is it's not all that, and they go back and they're like, that's
a very good point.
That's emotional blackmail right there. They're saying, well, you've been speaking. You've only been speaking for 3 months. Relax. And then they make that into a commitment thing. So now you have to marry that person because people have seen you go out and do this and that. No, it doesn't matter. Even if you've been with them for 2 years, just seeing what they like and test dating, you do not have to marry that person. It does not work that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, guys.
You just need to understand that this is.
Can we just applaud that point, please? Thanks.
That is a very good point. I think you mentioned the important point is the fact that sometimes parents do that whole thing where like, no, you don't need to get married to them. This is just a little arrangement.
But this is how psycho they are.
They make you talk. Then after 3 months, they're like, they've seen you outside together. Now you're a couple. We've told other families you have to get married. You have to put up with his abusive shit.
நான் உனக்கு freedom தந்தனா நீ அவரை போய் கழிச்செல்லாம் பழகிட்டு நீ 10 மாதம் பழகி போட்டு இப்ப வேண்டாம் சொன்னா நான் அங்க போறது இல்லையாப்பா அவர்களுக்கு அடிக்கிறார் கொடுமை செய்யறார் அது உண்ட புல நீ தான் தேடி கொண்ட நீ. They say shit like that.
Yeah. I feel like this is that type of podcast that parents wouldn't want their kids watching this. Like
we're that Midnight Masala show, but the woke one.
Not Midnight Masala. It's more like we're telling you how to go against your parents.
Oh, we're the Al Jazeera of podcasts.
Yeah. Well, but it's solid though. Like, it's legit. Like, if you have to think of it this way, bro. Like, life, you're gonna live with this person. It's so important you pick the right person, man. It doesn't matter if you break things off. Like, if you see that this person is not right for my future because of what I want to do in my life, it's okay. Let them go. If you see that this person's abusive, it's okay. Let them go and shit. Yeah. Do not go for someone just because your parents are fucking pushing you to go for someone because they're the same caste. Okay. Anyways,
quick one. If you, even to you probably as well, if you realize that your friend who's been married for like a couple of years, 3 years now, is not in a happy relationship, if they're being abused, I'm talking abuse in the sense of like husband beats. If you, even your own friend, you realize your friend beats your best friend beats his own fucking wife, and she comes to you like, can you talk some sense to your friend? He beats me and stuff, Would you confront your friend, or would you be like, boys first?
Oh nah, brother, you mad?
Saying me, I'm banging up my wife.
You're a dickhead now. Where does boys first come into this, bro?
No, but I'm saying, you know, because there's some guys out there that I'm like, bro, that's their, no, because they think there's a line. They're like, I don't want to get too involved.
Especially if the wife is coming to me saying, can you talk to him?
No, but I'm saying, from a boy's point of view, would you be, the thing is,
you have to, bro. Of course you have to.
No, I would confront the person, but then I'm also thinking, oh, fuck, I've known this guy 15 years, and you haven't physically seen it, but she's telling you.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll probably ask you, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And I would say, like, this is what she's saying and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll make you admit it and stuff. And then when you admit, I'll be like, you're a dickhead, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Because you have that right to do that to your friend.
Of course, of course.
You should hold them responsible. Your friends, you should hold your friends responsible if you see them do that shit. Even if it like. Obviously, they might not want to be a friend anymore, but is that friendship worth more than the safety of another person? Wow, that went deep. I hope whoever that is trying to figure out a way out of that relationship, because clearly that's not going to happen. That's not feasible. You can't be living like that.
And it's the fact that she's messaging her ex to confide in him. Like,
so clearly
she's like getting some sort of like reassurance and sympathy from him.
But the thing is, like, obviously we like it may not be so serious to certain people out there watching this now because it's somebody else's life, but think about it this way: this could be your own sister going through that, your older sister.
That's mad.
And are you just gonna sit? You're not gonna sit there and do nothing. You will do something about it. But yeah, man, I really hope she's safe, this girl now. So, but then again, we need to see if there's any sort of like links we can put below where people can actually go and speak to.
It's mad, bro. But yeah, this is what caste pride can lead to. Yep. This is what caste pride can lead to. You love your caste so much that you would rather have your kids marry a dickhead, abusive person than someone they love who's really nice.
You turn a blind eye to
what you need to do today is go look at the mirror, go look at yourself in the mirror and spit at yourself for how you've been behaving all these days. It's true, nah?
Yeah, but I'm just picturing someone spitting in the mirror.
But anyways, I got one story.
She's got a podcast now. It's called Talk to Her.
Yeah, and it's doing well. I swear it's Jake Paul who's produces. You're saying?
Maybe.
I heard. Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
But anyways, this one came through this morning from someone in Australia who's actually given me permission to use his name.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay.
So his name is Gokulan Gopal. Yeah.
Gokulan Gopal.
Yeah, I think you follow him as well.
I know him, yeah. Australian guy, right?
Yeah. So he
he's from India, right?
I think Indian Tamil who lives in Australia. But yeah, I think me and Vitajan have been following him for a while, and he follows us as well.
He posts very like good stuff,
a lot of educational things. Yeah. I've seen a lot of good stuff on like things related to against caste and things. Yeah.
He's a good advocate for it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what made me follow him at the start as well, because he was posting a lot of interesting things. And I've had a few chats about these things, but we still haven't met him. But I would love to meet him one day. And I even told him after the story he's written, which I'm gonna read. I even told him that I would love to have him on the actual podcast one day.
If he comes to London,
it'll be really good. And because it's better sometimes to have someone who can talk more things a bit like educate kind of stuff. Yeah. Whereas us, it comes from like our anger and passion and stuff.
Yeah,
you get it?
And some people might
sometimes I don't have the stats and facts and names and right words for it.
We're taking other people's anger and portraying it through us, really.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, so here's the story. This is my caste experience in Australia. Living in Australia, I encountered several caste-related experiences. While I usually handle such situations directly, one particular incident truly left me affected. Before the pandemic hit in 2020, I was a full-time tour operator. One of my tours with high-profile guests like CEOs from different companies in India, I was their driver guide taking them around Sydney attractions. One particular guest inquired about my caste every day, which is weird as fuck already. Initially, he was polite in his questioning, but I refused to answer. Each day, he would try different strategies, such as guessing my caste based on my name or the town I was from. One day, he provoked me by saying, "You must be from a really low caste," and that's why you can't proudly say it out loud.
Fucking hell.
I almost gave in, but quickly realized that I was being trapped by his question. I had to warn him that I would stop the tour midway if he continued. It took me a while to fully recover from this incident. Similarly, I was added to several caste-based WhatsApp groups. There's caste-based WhatsApp groups. That is mad.
You know, people say that the fucking most fucked up things goes down in a WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp groups, yeah.
A good example right there.
So I was added to several caste-based WhatsApp groups by a few uncles who assumed I would belong to their caste.
There you go.
Every day, members would brag about how great their caste was, and when I confronted them, I was removed from the groups. These caste groups were run by highly educated individual PhD holders, doctors, and engineers. They were subject matter experts in their fields, but know nothing about social hierarchy, its impacts, and how discriminatory these setups are. So basically, the moral of that story is also that you can be the most highly academically educated person ever, but you could still be stupid as fuck when it comes to life. Do check out our podcast about...
It's the very first podcast.
One of the podcasts we did in the previous studio, it was something related to... does intelligence equal to... what was it? You don't need to check it. That's
does education equal
does education equal intelligence?
Yeah.
Academically being educated, does that equal to intelligence?
Fucking, we're smart. We have podcasts like that.
Yeah. So I think this specific one does go back to that, and it also shows that, bruv, WhatsApp groups on caste is mad. Caste-based WhatsApp groups is mad.
You know, this is the thing, yeah. Like a lot of WhatsApp groups, they say the maddest things.
Yeah.
And this is just an example.
Yeah.
Like what goes down in some people's WhatsApp
and the fact that these are fucking educated CEOs, PhD holders sitting there in a chat acting so privileged, like, oh my god, we're so big, we're the biggest fucking caste.
Well, you would think education teaches you not to look at those things.
Oh, fucking hell, bro.
Has it got your... This is the first episode we're shooting today. Has it got your blood boiling?
Yeah, it has, man. I swear this topic always has my blood boiling, mainly because it makes me feel sick to think that it's even a thing. Like, sometimes I can't process it in my head. It's like, how are these old men who are meant to be smart, who are CEOs, sitting in a group feeling so good about themselves because they're a higher caste? Based on fucking what? This fucking, like, a religion created this system that Brahmins are at the top, this other thing is at the bottom. I can't even say the names right properly, but there's a specific thing at the top. The lowest people don't reincarnate or some shit. And if there's so much bullshit behind it, it's mad, bro. It's mad.
You were making a point earlier before I said something, saying about like some uncle pedophiles. What was that?
What I was saying is, what was your thing? What were you saying? How do you know if someone's an abuser or not? How do you see the signs? Because when he mentioned, how can you see signs so early? I was like, you do know, like, majority of a lot of girls have come out saying they've been abused by uncles or whatever and shit. And I was telling him how, like, a lot of these Tamil uncles are around us. These are people that would think they're the nicest uncle, they're the nicest person. Next thing you know, he abused some girl when she was like 6 years old.
You know, there's a lot of stories coming to light like this now.
Bro.
Yeah. And people are just casually talking about it like it's normal.
That's what I'm saying, that it could be people around you, bro. And you just never know these things, innit? So we just read a few stories and this already became 2 episodes, 2 parts, yeah?
It literally is,
and I don't think we've even finished them. Like, I've got a good 4 more stories or 5 more stories that I would really like to talk about. So if you do like this episode and if you found it interesting and if you opened your eyes, or if it's an episode you can share with your family and tell them, look, this does exist and is bad and stuff, it's not fair, then we will do another part and carry on with the stories. Because, again, these stories are important for people to see and understand that how fucked up it is.
And like Judy said, our podcast is here to show people that these things are very much still happening in this day and age. They should have been eradicated many years ago, decades ago, if anything. It happens in this day and age, and people are so ignorant to it. And it's so sad because it's just part of our society now, to a point where people turn a blind eye to it. Only certain people can identify these things. And I'm happy to say me and him are able to look into it and not ignore it and catch people out when they do these things. And you should be that person as well. So you should 100%. Be able to catch people out when they say stop stupid things like that. When you experience it or when you see other people go through it, just be that voice that they can't be.
This is the thing. So we did the first episode on Caste. We speak about it quite often on our Instagram and shit.
Yeah.
This is our second episode, yeah. And there's still so many fucking like Tamil news pages, Tamil influencers who talk about issues that never speak about caste related issues because they come from a privileged background.
Why would they jeopardize their privilege?
But my thing is, yeah, like there's this one thing Gopinath said once, yeah, which I fucking love, yeah. And he said it in Tamil, but if I had to say in English, he says, if we're gonna keep waiting to experience something to speak about it, nothing will ever change.
Of course not.
You have to be ready to speak about things that don't even impact you, but you're seeing someone else go through it. So you have to speak for others as well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying others can't speak for themselves. Like there are mad activists for each different issues. They do have their activists and stuff. But what I'm saying is you don't have to keep waiting to go through something to speak on behalf of people. Like join their like protests, join their whatever it is. Like you can speak up for people, and
it's the whole thing that people believe that me alone is I'm not gonna change anything by myself.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you a good example for that. Yeah. I don't know if you know this character. She's from America, a black female. She's very vocal. She can be very like narcissistic, and she's very I think she's very
yes.
You know what I'm talking about. I don't stand for a lot of the things she says because she can be very homophobic and I think
sexist and that.
Sexist and that because she believes women should be certain ways, right? So she said something the other day that stuck with me, and I'm like, I was like, fuck, because she openly says I used to be very pro-Israeli, very pro-lobbyist, very pro everything, a Zionist, She goes. Because she goes, I didn't know anything bad from that. That's what that's what I grew up with, and that's the only thing I see. She goes, thanks to social media and because individuals making points about it, I'm now able to see the other side, the other side suffering, the victims. And she goes, and I feel ashamed of myself. And the thing is that she feels ashamed about something that she wasn't educated on. If you feel ashamed about something you knew was happening, give me a go, girl, every time I say something.
Go, girl, you go, girl.
Every time you feel ashamed. I'm joking, Nana. If you feel bad about something that you know that you were wrong all along, then that's a different thing. But if you were ignorant as fuck and you had no way of feeling guilty about it, but now you educate and now you know, even though it wasn't your fault, but now you're openly saying, coming out saying, I'm so sorry, I feel ashamed of being part of this little community, like aka Zionism, Israeli people. I'm sad of being part of that. And I'm coming out here saying, don't ever fucking believe what they say. Because at the end of the day, social media, as much as a curse, it's a fucking blessing. Bro, we learn most of our shit through there, bro. Without even the 10-second videos that we did on TikTok, it teaches us so much. So I think, obviously, it's taking kids away. So this is the thing I have here. Are kids being dumber, or are they more glued to their phone? Or are they just processing more information and becoming smart?
That's another podcast.
So I think they're being smart by processing because they take so much information in. But like I said, that lady, we'll put a clip in if you can later on. She openly says she feels ashamed to be part of it. And this is what I'm saying. This is a high-profile person who doesn't have to say anything. So if a high-profile person can openly say she was in the wrong, admit it, come on live TV in front of millions of people, in front of fucking Piers Morgan, which is a fucking twat in the first place, and open up like that. If she can do it, you can do it. You can tell your parents, you can tell your friends, you can tell your family. We need to stop this shit right here with our generation.
And I love that point because another thing about her is the fact that she's someone who's highly influential, has a huge following, and she's also someone who's very has strong opinions on things and has never been scared to say her opinions, whether they're right, whether they're wrong, whether people follow her for it, whether people unfollow her for it. She's never cared. That's why sometimes I like people like that. Even if I don't agree with some of the things they say, I like the fact that they're willing to say it even if they're getting hate for it. And what I loved that little Piers Morgan clip I saw as well. What I loved is the fact that she's admitting that I've been wrong this whole time and I've been saying the wrong things. And not only is she admitting it, now she's proper standing up for Palestinians and speaks on behalf of them.
And think about it. She might have, because when she was saying dumb things, she had 1 million dumb followers. Going by what she says. Now she's going to have another 1 million followers following the good things of it. You know what I mean?
And now she might be
all it takes is for Trump to say something good like that,
Yeah.
and the world will change.
And the thing is, like you said, she had 1 million dumb followers, yeah? And those 1 million dumb followers are now gonna also understand where she's coming from.
Yeah,
A lot
of
of them are
course,
gonna
of course.
change their minds
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah.
So the reason he used that example, just to quickly finish off, our time's running out, is that you as a viewer, like we mentioned at the start of this podcast, there are a few people who called us and told us to stop this podcast. I have hope that even you, the people who tried telling us to stop, I have hope that even you guys can one day really fucking try and think about how stupid you sound when you talk so highly and proudly about
And justify it.
and justifying that caste system should be there. It's a big part of our religion, of our culture, of our system, blah blah blah. And how, yeah, I got a feeling that if we keep speaking about it, if we keep raising awareness on things, even they will change their minds one day.
Of course.
And yeah, I definitely think we need another episode on this because time's
let's
running out.
Do another episode with this, guys. Like we said, me and Julian get very emotional when we talk about caste, and it becomes a rabbit hole. We just end up keep coming up. Well, we went from fucking caste to speaking about Palestine right now.
Yeah.
So it goes to obviously both oppressions create oppression at the end of the day. So I hope you learned something from this, guys. And the main thing to take away from this podcast today, especially this episode, is to stand up. Even though you think you might not make a difference, anything is a difference.
Against your parents, against family, friends.
Family, friend, anyone you see oppressed another person, or even if it's yourself, your parents, anyone you see, or if you see it happen to you, stand up for yourself. Because if you're not gonna stand up for yourself, who's gonna stand up for you?
Yep.
Did that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Anyway.
And the second main moral of today's podcast is also, we've said several times, is to tell you guys that caste-based discrimination does exist still in European countries, in Ulam. If you guys think it doesn't exist back there, it does. I've read several stories which I didn't get to read out. Hopefully next episode. But yeah, it does exist and we need to do something about it. And also, we will keep doing episodes about it. So if you think you're going to stop us by calling us and telling us not to do about it, we will keep doing and we'll keep talking about it. And thank you very much for watching this episode, and we shall see you next time.